Thank you, Michel.
That you are using is...
So I've always been very wary about protecting my personal data and my own data. And this is the kind of thing I've been trying to do we are trying to do at STMicroelectronics. That is make sure that our customers and their end customers have the right technology at the right time to protect their data and their infrastructure. So my name is Jacques Fournier. I'm coordinating activities on security within STMicroelectronics. And I'm going to give you a glimpse about how ST is deploying a new generation of cryptography on all its microcontroller range of products. And this new family of cryptography is called post-quantum cryptography. And why is it called post-quantum? We're not talking about quantum computing here. It's just that we must bear in mind that quantum computing will bring loads of benefits. We hope so. Loads of benefits to humanity and our society, etc. But there are possibly some drawbacks. One of them is that researchers have proved that quantum computers, the day they will become operational, are likely to break today's cryptography, at least today's public key cryptography. And this is what we call the quantum threat. So today's, let's say, symmetric key cryptography, like AES or whatever, is secure. We don't have any problem with that. But all the public key crypto systems used today for key exchange, for signatures, digital signatures, etc., can be broken, in theory, by a quantum computer. And this is why this post-quantum crypto matters to us, because research work in quantum computing is advancing quite rapidly, and we need to take that to prepare for that. The second reason why it matters is that now we have new standards for those new crypto algorithms. The US NIST has published a whole set of standards the first set of standards in 2020, a new set of standards last year, and now we are equipped with reference crypto algorithms to be implemented. And the third reason why it matters is that regulators and government bodies are working on accelerating the deployment of those new crypto algorithms. Typically, the NIST has published a draft document saying that they are pushing to have deployment of those new family of cryptos, post-quantum crypto, as from 2030, which is in 5 years' time, and the whole migration to those new crypto by 2035, which is quite aggressive when we look back at the history of crypto, at the rhythm at which the crypto that we have today have been deployed in reality. So we have a very, very short timeline here. Okay, this is not a new topic. This is something on which the community in general has been working on for over a decade. The US NIST has issued a whole discussion, reflection, and call for standards for those new algorithms 10 years ago. And this started by proposals by the entire crypto community, to which ST has been contributing as a follower, looking at what's proposed since 2015. And then, of course, there were the first standards that were published in 2020 for LMS and XMSS. And the finalists of what we call the NIST competition published. And in 2024, the first key exchange and digital signature algorithms for quantum resistance in embedded in communication systems have been proposed by the NIST in August 2024. And there are still ongoing work. There's still ongoing work at the NIST today. There's a call for alternate standards to those deployed first proposed in 2024. And of course, we are following that closely in terms of looking at what's proposed, in terms of looking at how to adapt our products to those new standards. And incidentally, yesterday, the NIST actually published an alternative key exchange mechanism as an alternate to the MLChem that was proposed in August. So it's a very dynamic topic, but things are moving really fast because regulators are imposing us quite a short time frame. And at ST, we have been following that closely to make sure that in our products, we have those algorithms deployed for our clients at the right time. And even if today ST researchers and cryptographers haven't directly contributed to the MLChem, MLDSA algorithms, we are proud at ST in saying that one of the core building blocks of MLChem or MLDSA today, as published by the NIST, is based on a structure called the K-chuck. K-chuck is a sponge function which is used in the SHA-3 algorithm that has been standardized by the NIST. And this K-chuck algorithm has been invented by ST researchers and cryptographers. So we're very proud of this and happy about that. And we are very also confident about the fact that this algorithm has been thoroughly studied by the community in terms of resistance against quantum threat, and in terms of performance also. This is why the NIST has chosen it as a standard SHA-3, is that in terms of implementation and performance, we have really, really interesting trade-offs with the K-chuck. So at the end of the day, we are all going, because we'll go through it, we are all going to deploy post-quantum crypto, and we are very happy that there'll be kind of ST technology in all of that, because K-chuck was built by our colleagues. But the game is not over once we say that we have the right algorithms. How do we put this, how do we deploy this in embedded systems, in small chips? Especially in the scope of ST, where we have a whole range of products from very tiny, low-powered STM32s or STM32s to high-performance SOCs and microprocessors, up to secure microcontrollers with high levels of certification through complex systems like for automotives. And we have to address the whole product range, bearing in mind that implementing post-quantum crypto raises a couple of challenges. Challenges with respect to the size of data we're working on. I mean, the keys, the data, the ciphertext message are multiplied by 20-fold in terms of data size and storage space. So the dynamic memory that we need to do those calculations also is multiplied by a 20-fold factor when we implement it directly on embedded systems. Performance is also a key issue, where typically initial benchmarks that we ran showed that we had something like 10 times slower algorithms in terms of signatures with respect to classical crypto when implemented on, let's say, classical STM32s. And last but not least, when looking at embedded systems, you have to take into account specific threats linked to the fact that your chip, your device, is going to be easily physically accessible to hackers, and that in some critical implementations, you have to make sure that those implementations resist to what we call physical attacks that hackers can run on your chips, like sargent and fold attacks. So for some implementations needing a certain level of security, you have also to take into account resistance against those attacks. So those were the four main challenges that we took at ST to implement, embed those post-quantum crypto into our products. So just to give you a rough idea about how we handle those different challenges, in terms concerning the memory constraint, so we had to adapt our implementations. We had to adapt the way the crypto algorithms embedded in our microcontrollers fit the sizes of the data. We took advantage whenever we could of, let's say, vectorization, vector instructions that are available in some of our STM32 components. And we did also some implementations use assembly instructions literally, and doing some fine-grained memory management, dynamic memory management during those implementations. So once you've done this, you're still frustrated because you managed to put your feet into the shoe, but now you have to run fast. And how do you can tackle the performance constraint? There, we looked at those different algorithms and looked at what are the bottlenecks in terms of performance. We identified two main bottlenecks. The first one is to say that the K-Chuck, the core of the K-Chuck algorithm that I mentioned earlier on happens many, many times during a CHEM or a DSA algorithm in terms of timing. And accelerating it significantly accelerates the execution time of your post-quantum crypto. So we worked on implementing, making sure that we have K-Chuck accelerators in our products, where you can have a speed up of 5 to 10 times. Why 5 to 10? It all depends on your implementation of K-Chuck, whether you want it to be straightforward implementation or some secure versions against physical attacks of those implementations. The second axis of acceleration was to look at some of the arithmetics behind CHEM and DSA, ML-CHEM and ML-DSA, and accelerate some polynomial calculations through hardware, where, again, we have something between 5 to 8 times acceleration, whether you're looking at ML-CHEM or ML-DSA implementation. And the other constraint that we had to handle is about limiting the impact on performance and memory consumption when you have to protect your implementation against physical attacks. What are physical attacks? Just a recap for those who don't know what it is. It's when I have my chip in my hand, I can try to spy on what's happening in my chip from its power consumption or EM radiation. And by spying on what's happening, I can retrieve information about my sensitive data or my crypto keys. This is one form of physical attack, which we call side channel attacks. The other form of physical attacks is fault injection, where I say I will disrupt the functioning of my chip physically by doing an EM pulse, by doing some kind of power glitch, and by disrupting the function of my chip, I can manage to retrieve sensitive information from my chip, so some sensitive crypto keys. This is fault attacks. So for some critical applications, we need to protect the implementation of our crypto against those fault attacks, against those kind of attacks. And by doing so, we worked at ST on dedicated countermeasures because we have experts both on the crypto side and also on the attack side, knowing, mastering all the ins and outs of those physical attacks. We have in our development process, a development process which makes sure that those implemented countermeasures are properly taken into account by our development tool chains, that the tool chains that we use are compatible with the efficiency that we expect from those countermeasures. And of course, we try to manage the impact of those countermeasures in terms of memory and performance. And last but not least, we try to keep up with the state of the art in terms of what's going on in the attack community and making sure that the main threats, the main new attack paths and techniques that are brought by the community are taken into account. So, where does this lead us at ST? We have today, so we're announcing this week officially that we have PQC solutions for all our microcontroller products today within ST. Of course, we have different flavors of those post-quantum crypto implementations. The first one is we have full hardware implementation. But to be honest, it's on the shelf today, because as of today, we don't have any formal customer request to embed this in products. So today, you won't have it officially in a specific product roadmap, but at least we have it on the shelf, ready to be integrated into a future design if we need it for some of our microcontroller products. But we also have software implementations. And there, there are two flavors of software implementations. The first flavor is saying that it's all software without any use of a specific accelerator. And the second flavor is software using the shaft-free accelerator that you can find in some STM32 products. So you can look at the data sheet of your STM32, see if you have a shaft-free, and you know that we have software implementations available for the making good use of the presence of the shaft-free in terms of acceleration. And those software implementations will be distributed as an X-Cube package. It's already available today. The X-Cube PQC package is already available on st.com and is an extension of the X-Cube crypto library that you have available on your STM32. And those first two families of products here concern general purpose and mainly general purpose and automotive products today. And in terms of, for those of you seeking side channel resistance, we are targeting here what we call at the EU level substantial levels of security, where we have protected implementations that can reach up to CESIF level 3 certification. But of course, those libraries, protected libraries, won't be readily available on st.com, but it's available to clients under specific NDA conditions. So those are for general purpose and automotive products. Now, for secure microcontrollers needing very high levels of security, here again we have two flavors of implementation. We have full software implementations, embedding countermeasures against side channels and fault attacks, ready for common criteria EL5 plus level of certifications. And we have a new generation of smart cards, chips, and secure microcontrollers coming this year, which will embed a hybrid hardware-software approach to PQC implementation, where you will have the acceleration that I mentioned earlier on over KCHAC and some polynomial operations for optimizing the performance of those PQC implementations. Of course, again, with the aim of reaching very high level of security in terms of common criteria certification. So this is where we stand today. And in terms of deploying this new family of crypto on ST's products, so we are ready for all our microcontrollers, whether it's general purpose, secure, or automotive, with different flavors, whether you want crypto agility, etc. And then, of course, we accompany our clients in seeing what's the best, let's say, deployment approach for them for those post-quantum crypto, depending on their configurations. Whether they want crypto agility, whether they want what we call hybridization. So hybridization is the scheme that is favored today as from 2030, where you say that you try to make today's crypto and tomorrow's crypto live together during a certain period of time. And this is typically what we are showing at our demo and at our stand today with respect to that, where we are connecting to an Amazon Web Service via a key exchange based on MLChem, which is encapsulating an ECDH key exchange in a hybrid mode to Amazon Web Service. So don't hesitate to come and visit us to discuss into more details about those specific those different implementations and how we can accompany you and your clients in the deployment of those new crypto algorithms. Thank you. And if you have any questions, then I was all clear. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.